Audrey Marie. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. And today in this video, I will be starting Cherish by Tracy Wolff. This is the 6th book of the Crave series, and I have been non-stop reading this entire series back to back, one after another, because I am loving this world and loving the characters. Each book leaves off on a massive cliffhanger, and since the series is already completed, what's stopping me from continuing? I've already started this book, basically, because I needed to. I'm already at chapter 7, which is only 34 pages into this book. So Grace finally remembers everything that happened between her and Hudson in the Shadow Realm over those 4 months they were together in her mind. They're trying to save Meki from the poison that is from the Shadow Realm. So they're gonna have to go back to the Shadow Realm to get the antidote from the Shadow Queen. We already got a taste of the Shadow Realm in Charm, but all the events that happen in Charm didn't actually happen. They're all just a memory because they jump back in time. So far, there is already hope that they can find Smokey again in the Shadow Realm and hopefully bring her back with them so they can all be a happy family once again. I'm curious to see if the mayor is gonna pop up in this book as well, because he was trying to get back to the real world. And then I want to see if the friends that they made in Charm come back and help them in Cherish. I'll be sad when this series is over, but I'm excited to see where the story goes and how they finish it off. Jackson and Hudson seem to have a better bond since the ending of Court. I guess Jackson was spending it with Flint in the Dragon Court, so that has changed their dynamic between the two of them dramatically. And I'm intrigued as to see how everyone's doing, because Flint shows up with a black eye already in this book. There's problems in the Dragon Court still because of Nuri giving Jackson her dragon, so now Jackson is a hybrid dragon vampire now because he can change into a dragon too. We also learned that in Court. I'm intrigued as to where this book is gonna go, what's gonna be happening, and I'm ready to see what this story has in store. I'm excited to continue and finish the series. Even though I don't want it to end, I could read this series nonstop. I feel like these characters are alive. I'm enjoying every single moment of this series, but I'm gonna hop in and continue reading this book. So it's been a while since I last talked to you. The last time I talked to you was Friday. Today is now Tuesday, and I have done a lot of reading this book. I think I went to bed around 2:30 last night, so I really don't know what page I'm on quite at the moment, but I have made a massive dent in this book. Massive. I probably have around 100 or so pages left, and lots happened. They ended up getting to the Shadow Realm, and oh my god, a lot's changed. Sadly, nobody remembers Grace. Her going back there and being like, oh my god, I see all the people that I lived with for like a year or so don't even remember me, but then they remember Hudson. It's just so heartbreaking. I feel so bad for her. And then when they went to the old warehouse, she had paintings that she made of Hudson there. I would have liked her to question where those paintings came from and who did them, because she did them when she was there. Town name changed from Attery to Vegaville because of Hudson and what he did for the town, and Hudson doesn't like it. Smokey is still alive. She's a little baby now. She's a little baby, but she's alive. So we get to see Hudson, get to have her back in his life. I love little Smokey with Hudson. Still funny that Grace and Smokey don't get along with one another, but progress. They need to work on that. And then Hudson and Jackson put on a concert for Attery or Noramor or for Vegaville. They put on a concert for them, but then they got arrested. The little bit that we got to see of them doing a concert was so cool. I love that. That was such a cool moment. I wish we would have gotten more, but it makes sense for the plot line that they got arrested because that's what they were hoping for. they made a deal with the Shadow Queen to separate the connection or the bond or the souls of her two daughters. They needed this celestial dew for that to happen, and so the group went and found that, and so Remy came back into the story. I love Remy, he's so funny, and his powers are wicked. They almost got beat up and killed by a bear and some bees because they were going for the celestial dew, and that is what was protecting the tree that they needed to get to. So all of them got battered and broken and stung and bruised, so they were fighting for their lives whenever they went to get the celestial dew. This being the last book, Tracy Wolff would have gotten me bawling my eyes out if I didn't think that she would have killed off all of them, all in one go. Grace was broken because she thought all of her friends were dying, even her mate. So she was broken. I was broken for her, just thinking that. But I just knew Tracy Wolff wasn't gonna kill off all the characters all in one go like that. Like in the previous book, she'll kill one character at a time, not like the entire friend group. So it would have broken me if it was at least like 2 of them. But since they were all doing the exact same thing, feeling the same way, I had a feeling they would survive, and they did. So Remy was able to teleport them, and Grace got the celestial dew at the last minute, and Remy teleported them back to his home that he feels the safest, and that happens to be the Ethereum, the jail from Covet. And then of course the crone shows up, and I was wondering, because Grace kept mentioning that tattoo that she had from her deal with the crone. I was wondering when that was gonna pop up, and this was the last book of the series, so I had a feeling she would ask for her favor from Grace in this book, and she did. No surprise there. And so she wanted the celestial dew, and so she drank it. And so now they don't have the celestial dew for the deal that she made with the Shadow Queen to save Makai. I'm really curious, and all I want to do is sit down and finish this book and see how this ends and what comes out of it, because I'm just so curious, and I'm so close to the end. So even though I haven't given you updates, that is pretty much what's been going on. I'm loving the book. I'm gonna be so sad when this book ends. And Out of This World, I know Tracy Wolff has another series, and I already have the first book of that one, and it's in the same universe. It's from Katmere Academy, I believe. It's called Sweet Nightmare. But I'm gonna jump into a different book after this and not stay in the same world to give myself a little breather, because this is all I've been reading for the past month is this series. I'm so happy that I've just been able to jump into one book into the next. So I'm loving this series. I'm ready to see where the story ends, if they're able to save Makai, if they're able to separate the 2 daughters from the Shadow Queen, and what happens with Hudson with the vampire court and her with the gargoyle court. Because there's been a constant rift and stress with Grace when it comes to Hudson with the vampire court, because he hasn't really opened up too much with her about what's going on there. She knows there's something wrong because her grandparents brought it up to her in the beginning of this book whenever she gave the crown back to her grandfather for the time being, so she doesn't lose the crown in the Shadow Realm. I'm ready for the ending of this book. I might finish it tonight, I might finish it tomorrow. I got an assignment I gotta do, so we'll see. Official. I've finished Cherish. I finished this while I was cleaning. I had to take a little break whenever I was cleaning because I was getting wrecked by this book for a second there. So they went back to the Shadow Realm to tell the Shadow Queen. They even brought Makai to be like, hey, we weren't able to get you what you wanted, unfortunately, but can you still heal him? Well, when they were there, she was like, well, that sucks. You didn't fulfill the bargain, and also there's nothing I can do. So Grace, she felt this to her soul, and she knew Makai was gonna die. Grace ended up freeing the Shadow Realm because she come to find out that her grandmother was the person who actually made the Shadow Realm, so she had the power to free them. That's an amazing thing. I'm so happy for them. And the Shadow Queen's daughter that was trapped at the witch court, she came into the Shadow Realm and was watching Makai take his last breath, and that is when I had to take a little bit of a break. I had to take a breather, and we come to find out that Lorelai and Makai are actually mated, and the queen knew about it, but it only really snapped into place whenever Lorelai was able to make it into the Shadow Realm and get her complete soul once her sister touched her. So Makai found his mate too. So happy for them. You don't see a lot of moments with them, but throughout this book, even when they went to the curator to get info on the location for the tree to get the celestial dew, she had to write history for her. And I thought this room was so cool. It's just a room full of TVs. It would flash to different instances happening around the world, and they had to record it. And they made a bargain to work for the curator for 24 hours. She had a break, but also while they were doing this, they wanted one of the TVs in that room to be solely on Makai and Lorelai. And through that moment, they were talking about how Lorelai didn't leave his side. She was always there for him. So I knew there was something a little bit there, but I didn't know what it was for sure. And that makes a lot more sense now, knowing that they're mates. So Lorelai was able to save Makai, even though we come to find out there was no antidote for the shadow poison that was in Makai's system. There was no antidote. So the queen would have backtracked on her deal with Grace. I couldn't believe it. That's why it broke me. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. They did all that work, almost died, and there was no antidote for this poison. But luckily, since Makai was Lorelai's mate, she was able to save him from the poison. Even though it was still in his system, but she was able to prevent the poison from killing him. Then they were having the coronation for her to be one of the rulers on the circle, and the crone and all the hunters came to destroy everybody. And so even though the dress looked, in my mind, and then the descriptions look so good on Grace, I'm so glad that after the war and they were able to fight off the crone and everything, she went through it not in that dress, but as herself. Yes, Hudson stayed in a little bit of a tuxedo, but that's him. And then Grace did it as her. So she was able to be in her fighting clothes, which makes so much sense for her. Yes, I understand being all prim and proper for an instance like that, but you gotta be yourself. So glad that happened. But also, I love that it started out where she was in a dress. So you got that little moment where we got to see her fully dressed up. And then the Bloodletter became the Vampire Queen. So I guess Alistair is going to be the Vampire King. So she's going to go back to be doing that. And then for the epilogue, the Shadow Queen and Makai, Lorelai, and all of them came for her inauguration and coronation. Come to find out, Makai became Prince of the Shadow Realm because he's mated to Lorelai. And he has a new power because of that. And he was able to bring Smokey into the world instead of just being in the Shadow Realm. And so instead of Hudson constantly going to and from the Shadow Realm, he was able to bring Stormy with him. I'm so happy that that happened. And then in the epilogue, Hudson finally opens up to Grace about what he was doing in the vampire court with his family home that he inherited from his father. Come to find out that he was renovating it to become a school, because in the Shadow Realm in Charm, he was a teacher and he absolutely loved it. So he wanted to continue that and make the house that he had so many bad memories, to make it into something in the future where not just the elite in each of the factions, but anybody is welcome to this school that he was planning up. And I'm so happy about that. I love that. It makes so much sense for Hudson to be doing that. It's so great. And it's gonna be called Katmere Academy. So I'm excited. I'm so happy that I love this series and I was able to finish it and be able to experience this book series. Each character had so much within them. My Pinterest since I started this series has only been constantly fan art from this series. I'm not mad about it whatsoever. I love the series so much. I highly recommend this to everybody to give it a shot. It's so good. I'm sad to be out of this world now, but I wouldn't trade my reading experience for all these books, this entire series by Tracy Wolff, for anything. It's so good. I'm so glad that I was able to experience this book series. So, I'm a massive fan. I will not forget this series for a very long time. This series is going to be close to my heart, and I'm going to be constantly thinking about this series. I love every character, every trial, every challenge they faced. It's so good. I thought it was just funny throughout this entire book. They were like, how hard could it be? We've done so much, how hard could it be? It's just so funny. And it's kind of crazy how all these books just happen in such a short time frame. There's a time jump of like 5 months, I think, a couple months. So there's a little bit of a time difference between those two. I'm also so sad for it to be done. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for coming along for my journey of reading the Crave series. It's been a roller coaster of emotions to see where I started and where my opinions and whatnot changed, and to see how the series evolved through the many books. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video, and go check them out. So bye.